This is Eli the Fantasy Guy with Fantasy Trading Room with my final edition of Forget the Trendy Names and Draft These Guys Instead. Sam LaPorta is perhaps the trendiest player across all positions in fantasy football. He had a historic season for a tight end as a rookie in 2023. He had over 800 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns, while no other tight end had more than 6 touchdowns. I think it's safe to assume that LaPorta will have a regression in touchdowns, while unlikely to have an increase in receiving yards. Then factor in the cost to get LaPorta in your draft. His consensus ADP is 28 at the beginning of the third round. That cost is just too high when you can get almost the same production 5 rounds later and draft Jake Ferguson instead. Ferguson was tight end 9 last season, but his current ADP is 88, being drafted in the 8th round. The Cowboys didn't add anyone to their team to compete for targets behind CeeDee Lamb, who, by the way, is in a contract dispute holdout. They lost Tony Pollard, who had 55 receptions on 67 targets last year, as well as Michael Gallup and his 34 receptions and 57 targets. Cowboys did not improve their running game, so it's likely Dak will be throwing as much, if not more, than he did last season. Plus, Dak has always loved his tight ends. He made Dalton Schultz and even Blake Jarwin fantasy relevant in previous years. Ferguson, meanwhile, was one of only 7 tight ends to see 100 targets or more last season. To draft LaPorta as ADP of 28, you're missing out on guys like Deebo Samuel, Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, or Josh Jacobs, Rashad White, James Cook. You can even snag one of the top 3 quarterbacks at that point, with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Jalen Hurts. So forget the trendy names and Sam LaPorta and draft Jake Ferguson instead.